Okay, so today we are going to have a chat with Nik and Heidi Smith, who live in a little town called Pensol, which is not far from here. They've been here a few years and they run a very nice gîte and bed and breakfast business. So we'll talk to them about how they bought, the process involved, problems they had, that kind of thing. Hope you enjoyed.
Nik. Nik Smith.
Heidi Smith.
And how long have you been in France?
Almost.
Coming up for 4 years.
And what is it that made you move to France in the first place then?
Oh yeah, I'd say Brexit.
You can say whatever you like.
It was Brexit, in all honesty. I had a job working with farmers on the Common Agricultural Policy, so that was obviously going to be kaput after the referendum result. And Nik lost his job just after the referendum. So it was the kick that we needed. We'd been wanting to move to France, but that was the impetus.
So there was what was the kind of the driver before that of wanting to move to France?
Wanting land and animals, which was never going to happen. We lived in a small bungalow in the Norfolk Broads with a small garden. Wanted to grow our own vegetables, wanted to have horses, and that's just never going to happen with the house prices in the UK. So.
No. Well, I mean, how much land have you got here?
8 hectares.
8 hectares, so that's
Nearly 20 acres.
20 acres.
Yeah.
So a house and 2 gîtes. And another
3
house,
gîtes.
3 gîtes, 20 acres. Even in Norfolk, there's going to be a couple of million, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Surrey, 7.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no, it's good value, isn't it? Certainly.
Excellent value.
Fantastic, yeah.
So you bought 4 years ago.
But it wasn't, I should say, it wasn't just that. We've always
Yeah.
loved France and speak a bit of French. So it was a kind of flying start on the language as opposed to, say, Spain or, all the other places that people move to.
And your French is alright, isn't it?
Yeah, when she says speak a bit of French, I scraped a C when I was much younger than I am now.
Right.
So that was the extent of my French.
But that's more than some people, isn't it?
Yeah. But, apparently.
But you've done, I mean, you're quite well kind of integrated, loads of French people in you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've even been asked to be a garçon d'honneur at my French friend's wedding. Yeah,
Wow.
I think it translates
really
to
made it
page
now.
boy. So I get myself a little sailor's outfit.
Isn't that car parking attendant?
Yeah, probably.
So how many houses did you see when you actually kind of got into the process of looking?
When we came,
Because you weren't here when the first time you saw this house. You didn't
No,
come.
well, we had dogs still, so we couldn't come together.
Right.
One of us always had to stay behind. But he came back very full of it, certainly. Oh, I found this place. It's amazing. We can't afford it, but...
we looked at about 6. I mean, I would spend every morning from 5:30 till 6:30, or till whenever Heidi woke up, sort of looking on the internet for stuff, and then great big, look at these, and
She'd ignore you.
yeah, exactly. Oh, that's nice, dear. So then you have to, you rationalise it down, and we thought, okay, what do we want? We want some land. We need enough accommodation to be able to make a business from it. We want water because we knew we wanted to grow stuff, and if we had animals, we don't want to be paying to give the animals tap water. And so, fortunately, on your website, on the Leggett website, you could filter via mill. And so I just filtered on mill, and it showed me the whole of France. And then we knew we didn't want to go too far south because I'm a pale northerner and I can't cope with the heat. Didn't want to go too far north. What's the point? It would be just like dismal grey weather in England. So this seemed like a happy medium, and because we're smack bang in the middle of a natural park. Heidi was obviously a professional environmentalist. I'm a keen amateur, and so we thought, right, okay, let's have a look at this place. And the vendors we got on really well with, and they contacted us in the end and said, "Are you still looking?"
Oh, right, that's
they,
right.
they had a proposal.
Yeah.
We did.
And once you got here, did the area match up to what you were expecting it to be? Was it kind of?
I can remember we went to the Wednesday market in Piegu, and it was a complete shock to us to hear so many French, Dutch and English voices everywhere, and realise that it's really quite cosmopolitan for what's the empty diagonal in France. It's like I say, it's really quite bohemian, international. you know, it's a real melting pot of people here.
We were blown away by the wildlife. That exceeded all expectations.
By the
Wildlife.
the wildlife. Oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. Because you like your moths.
Yeah, butterflies. We've got 64 species of butterflies in our gardens alone, more than the whole of the UK. So we just couldn't believe it. You know, the stuff we were seeing the first summer, it was just wow.
I've never seen anyone so excited by moths.
Moths are cool.
Well,
Okay, so you bought this place in an unusual manner relative to how most people buy their houses in France. So what was that process?
so the Dutch said, "Are you still looking?" We said yes, but it's really beyond our price. And they said, "Here's a deal. We'll lend you €50,000. You can pay us back over 5 years." And we looked at it and we thought, well, you know, we have to take a risk, because we figured that with the way the property market works over here, we just have to get one. We can't buy one and then sell it, buy another, buy another. It doesn't work like that over here. So we thought we have to go for the biggest thing we could day one, and that would be it. And so we went into this agreement with them, and thought, well, it's down to us to make the business work and get the money paid back within the time frame.
And it all went fine. The paying back and
It all went fine, but not in a straight way, because of course we had COVID. So we had our first year where we started. We did better than we thought we would, but you know, there was no way we were earning any money from it. The second year we also did better than we thought we would, and we're thinking, oh, we're about breaking even. And then third year was COVID. Fourth year was COVID. So
And when COVID first hit, March 2020,
yeah,
we just had no income, and you know, all of our guests cancelled, and we were just sitting there thinking, oh, and we just come out of a long lean winter where we're just thinking, okay, right, this year we really need to, it needs to wash its face, and we need to break even and do all of that. So we were ready to have a really good year, and it all just stopped, like it had hit a brick wall.
yeah.
And it was just awful. So we phoned the people who'd lent us this money, who are lovely and still our friends, live down the road, and just said, we can't pay you, can we have a holiday? And they said yes, of course.
Because I mean, contractually, the way it works is that then they effectively are the mortgage holder for this
yes,
property.
yeah, absolutely.
So if you default on that payment,
Yep.
they can, in theory, just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
take the house back.
Right.
Yep.
In the middle of the night, Kevin and I was well aware of that.
So you start with the website and setting
Yeah.
up the business and chambre d'hôtes and nine chambre de commerce and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
all of that.
And that was all quite straightforward, the process?
It was terrifyingly steep learning curve. We got a hand holder to help us. There are
Okay.
people out here who exist just to help newly arrived Brits find their way through the maze of bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And she set us up as an auto-entrepreneur, and that was great. And then we started playing social security, and then we got a carte vitale, and then we could access the healthcare system, and then we felt like
And
we
then
were
you're
in.
Yeah.
Stop paying taxes.
Because in a lot of ways, I mean, I always advise people when they're taking over businesses, it's a lot easier to just start again.
Oh,
Than
yeah.
trying to take over an existing business,
Yeah.
because the legal ramifications of trying to go from one owner to another are just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
That's different. So now COVID is finished.
That's
Is
it.
it? Okay.
Yeah, apparently.
You heard it here.
Apparently, but it seems to have finished in England. as far as I can tell. So is it looking better for next year? The business bookings coming
It's very
back?
busy next year, but
Yeah.
they are all cancelees from the last 2 years who have. Some people have paid us deposits, and we still have those deposits, and they rebook
Well,
in
you
and
don't have
rebooking.
deposits, have you? Because you spent them.
Yes.
Ah, yeah, well, yes. It just means that you'll be giving people free holidays next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
It's never going to end. But no, it's busy. It's looking positive. We had always wanted to get away from the British market as well, because we thought that with Brexit it's going to be harder to access that market, and also we didn't want to encourage people to travel. We're supposed to be an environmental business, you know, we're very aware of climate change and all of that. So we wanted to get French people to come and holiday with us, and also Dutch. You don't have to fly. So we were moving away from that market anyway, and COVID's just made it even more important that we do that as quickly as possible.
And because once we realised what we had here in terms of the wildlife, that really gave us direction in terms of rather than just trying to compete with every other Jeep round here that's just a Jeep, we need to, what's our USP, our unique selling point, and it was the nature that we have here and the wildlife. And so we run 2 of the fields as a nature reserve, which obviously feeds all the butterflies and the insects that we get here that now bring people in. So we've had the editor of the European Butterfly Conservation down here this year on holiday, and he's already booked again for next year, and we're getting a write-up in his autumn newsletter.
I mean, if you had buyers here and they said to you, what would your advice be? What would that be to people who are buying in France now?
Learn French.
Sorry?
Learn French.
Yes, that's always good.
Yeah.
Even if, you know, it doesn't matter where you start. If you start from 0, you know, just at least improve it a little bit. It makes such a difference. It makes such a difference to how you feel about the winters out here and integrating into the community. Our local village have been so friendly to us. And the mayor and the village have these annual meals that you can go along to, enormous great festivals of
Pork.
Yes, pork and alcohol. You roll home 5 hours later, rolling drunk. Fantastic, you know, for just meeting people and.
But you have to be able to communicate with people too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Not a problem. Okay, so that was Nik and Heidi at the Moulin De Pensol. Address for their lovely place is in the link below. As usual, any questions or comments, just let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon.